What's good YouTube? This is FreshPair returning for another edition of Tech Focus where we break down a specific performance component of a shoe. For today we have the Q4 Millennium Hi on deck and we will be talking about the shoe's cushioning and what makes it good. For context, I weigh about 70 kilograms or around 154 pounds and my style of play is the guard type. In case you missed my detailed performance review for the Q4 Millennium Hi, don't get left behind. Check out the link in the description box below. To know more about Q4 Sports, go visit www.q4sports.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more informative videos. Like this video by hitting that thumbs up button. Follow me on Instagram for regular updates. Visit my blog for the full transcript of this video. Again, all the links are posted in the description box below. With that out of the way, let's get in focus. The Q4 Millennium Hi uses what Q4 Sports calls KOMpress foam for its midsole, and it's where the shoe's cushioning mainly depends on. The foam runs full length, which means it covers the heel all the way to the toe area. Now, the most noticeable thing about the foam midsole, even by just pressing your fingers on it, is that it feels soft. Based on my observation, this is one of the softest foam midsoles in recent years, and I've got to say that the overall cushioning in the Q4 Millennium Hi is great. Here's why. One is that the KOMpress foam midsole is quick to have compression marks, and I'm not referring to just one prominent horizontal compression mark that you often see in your common foam midsoles. I'm talking about multiple compression lines that go horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. They readily indicate that the foam compresses adequately from different foot motions. Remember, when playing basketball, foot impact on the floor can and will come from different directions. An example is when you take a lateral push to another direction. In most cases, it is your forefoot and not the entire length of your foot that you will have to use in order to make that quick step. That is normal foot mechanics. For instance, you push with your left forefoot to make that quick shift going to the right side. In that situation, the force coming from your feet going to the floor will be diagonal. As a result, the cushioning will likewise have to receive some of the impact diagonally as well. In this case, the Q4 KOMpress foam does a great job of providing enough cushioning at the forefoot even during quick shifts in direction. This is mostly because of the softness of the foam. Upon impact, the forefoot foam practically thins out temporarily due to the stress from the weight that it receives, and because it thins out, it does not wobble. In other words, the superb forefoot foam compression itself provides the stability that you need when doing quick forefoot shifts in direction. In short, as far as the forefoot cushioning here is concerned, you get a well-cushioned ride that is stable at the same time. The softness of the forefoot foam here is ideal because there is no need to cage it in order to make it stable. It becomes stable upon compression. The harder the foot strike, the more stable the forefoot foam becomes. The heel cushioning in the Q4 Millennium Hi is another thing, although the cushioning that it provides also depends on the same softness of the Q4 KOMpress foam. After just about an hour of full court play, the heel already had multiple compression marks. The compression marks are unlike what you would normally see in other foam midsoles. This one here had multiple or separate compression marks that look like rays instead of a predominantly single horizontal line. What these multiple compression marks at the heel indicate is this: it compresses better than your average foam midsole. In other words, because the foam midsole in the Q4 Millennium Hi is soft, it easily compresses. Now, the harder the heel strike, the greater the compression will be, and the greater the compression, the better the midsole will soften each heel strike. Remember that heel strikes are often diagonal instead of straight down, and this makes the force from your feet also diagonal in direction. Now, this is true in running and walking. The almost radial compression marks in the heel of the Q4 Millennium Hi emphasize this diagonal direction of each heel strike. Now, for comparison, think of it like a marshmallow. Press down on one of its sides and it will show diagonal or almost radial creases. That is how soft and effective this foam midsole is in cushioning each heel strike. But that is not all. You also have the midfoot cushioning for midfoot strikes. Basically, midfoot strikes happen when the length of your foot lands flat on the floor. Now, the interesting part about the midfoot foam cushioning here is this: it is arched or raised. but you won't feel it raised inside the shoe once you step your foot in. In other words, there is a small gap only between the midsole and the floor. Not only that, the midfoot foam also has carved out or empty sections, and these empty sections reveal the TPU midfoot shank called TSS22. Taken all together as a whole unit, the very configuration of the midfoot cushioning provides good impact protection during midfoot strikes. Here's why. The raised midfoot section sinks upon midfoot strike. It happens fast, but the principle is simple. The downward force from your midfoot strike causes the TPU shank to push against the foam below it. Because the shank is TPU instead of carbon fiber, it has a little bit of flex when force is applied. In turn, the downward force from the TPU shank causes the midfoot foam to stretch. The midfoot foam does so by pulling its length toward the center. Now this sink and stretch process gives the initial cushioning prior to actual floor contact. Once the shoe's midfoot makes direct contact with the floor, especially during hard midfoot landings, the midfoot foam then compresses. It is this subsequent compression that further cushions your midfoot strike. It's simple and it's ingenious, but most important of all, it works. As for the concave and convex sculptings at the sides of the midsole, they provide some weight reduction. Not much, but better than nothing. Beyond that, they enhance the midsole's compression at the side during sharp lateral or medial steps. That's when you land and push on the edge of one of the sides of your foot. It may not always happen, but it can happen. And when it does happen, the sculptings will allow for greater compression so that your foot will be closer to the floor for added stability. Here's one question. Does the softness of the foam midsole affect the shoe's heel-to-toe transition? It does, but it does so in a good way. At first, you might feel a disconnected feeling between the heel and the toe, but once you start playing in the shoe, the transition becomes smooth precisely because of the softness and great compression of the midsole. Here's another question. Since the KOMpress foam here is soft, will it bottom out fast? My answer is, I cannot say for certain at this point. Although I've played in my pair for more than 40 hours already, the KOMpress foam still hasn't lost significant thickness. On the other hand, however, the compression marks signify that the foam midsole is quick to take the beating. In any case, this is the first time that I've experienced this new foam midsole, so I have no previous assessment to go with, unlike say Lunarlon or Phylon or Boost or Bounce. But if anything happens along the way, I'll make sure to post an update, so do follow me on Instagram. A few final points. The Q4 Millennium Hi uses a removable insole that has a circular poron-like padding at the bottom of the heel plus a plastic shank at the midfoot. Add to that another layer of poron on top of the strobel board and you have extra step-in comfort in terms of cushioning. As I have said in my performance review, the cushioning is the best performance aspect of the Q4 Millennium Hi. The Q4 KOMpress foam midsole is soft and its overall setup does a great job at providing superb impact protection while maintaining stability. Back to the basket post-up players and even quick guards who need stable impact protection will definitely like the cushioning here. That ends today's edition of Tech Focus. Be sure to check out Q4 Sports for the Q4 Millennium Hi and other models from the brand. You can hit them up at www.q4sports.com. More videos are about to drop, including performance reviews and tech focus videos, so make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video by hitting that thumbs up button, follow me on Instagram for regular updates, visit my blog for the full transcript of this video. All the links that you need, including my detailed performance review for the Q4 Millennium Hi, are posted in the description box below. This is FreshPair signing out for today. Thanks for watching. Peace!